Alright, so I'm going to do something a little different this video. Most of y'all know I talk kind of off the hip, but I made some notes. So, we all pretty much know that the world's a little off right now. And I came up with 4 things that are the bare minimum to make it through whatever may happen. And I'm not going to get into all the scenarios, but I just want to talk to you about these 4 things that'll help you get through 2023 and whatever's left of this year and whatever may come. So, this right here is pretty much the basics. In other words, I know each individual may have different needs or whatever, but these 4 things will get you in the best possible situation to whatever may happen in the months or whatever, the time to come. The first 2 are things that if you do not already have, you should go get. The third is something that if you can do, it puts you in a very good spot. And the 4th one is by far the most important. So if you indulge me, I'm going to talk about some things. Number 1, something that I have said many times on this channel. Food, okay? And it's not about buying, 5-gallon buckets of rice or, $250 things of dehydrated food. If you eat chili, if you eat Campbell's soup, if you eat rice, whatever you eat, okay, if it sits on the shelf, buy extra. It's not about being a prepper. It's not about being a psychopath. It's not about anything other than the fact that there will probably be a day, if you haven't already experienced, okay, if you like blueberry Pop-Tarts, guess what? When I went to Walmart, they were out. Okay, so if you had extra, at least for that time period, you're going to have it. If you're preparing for a hurricane or a tornado or earthquake or wherever the hell you are in the world, having food is a good thing, especially in the time of crisis. And there was a documentary I watched last year, and it was a guy who went over to Africa and talked to a tribesman, a guy who doesn't have a house. They still wander and hunt day to day. And he was asking them, what's the meaning of life? What do you think about when you die? All this kind of stuff. He says, and one of the questions, what's the most important thing to you? And he was like, baboon. He goes, what do you mean? He's like, finding food. Food is the most important thing, and that's people who don't have anything else. You've also seen all the Snickers commercials about being hangry when you're a little bit hungry, how you get pissed off and aggravated at the world. I'm going to tell you guys something. When people get all the way hungry, they go freaking crazy. And that includes you or anybody else that's around you. So having food is a way to not get messed up in the head when things are already making you messed up in the head. And I'm not here to talk about all the different crises. Whatever happens, if the world is wonderful, it's a good thing to have food. All right. Me, I'm a single person. I really don't have anybody else to take care of, so all the food is mine. There's a reason for that. If for some reason that I cannot eat the food before it expires, then there's a food bank right across the street. I take it, if I got 20 cans of soup that I didn't get to, I'm going to donate it. It makes it gives them a good opportunity to have food for them, and it makes me feel a little bit good. But to know I have it, is something that really makes my life a lot easier, is to know I have extra food. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I have said at least once or twice that you should buy a little bit extra food. And let's say you go out today and you buy, 24 cans of chili, which I do very often. Next time you go, it's probably going to be more expensive. So at least it's good that you bought it while it's a little cheaper. Because if you think inflation is at its peak right now, well, we can all drink. We can all drink. So But that's number one. Make sure you're stocked up on food, water, medicine, the things you need to just get by. Not hair products, not shampoo. If you want to, that's fine, but food is the main one. Water, okay? Number two. This is probably the most controversial, you know, not to the people who watch me, but you need to have an equalizer. An equalizer? I don't listen to stereos. No, you need an equalizer. An equalizer is something that makes the combat playing field equal, which in most cases is a gun, okay? And I'm going to use this strictly as an analogy, or a scenario. An example, that's a good one. So, if I meet someone in a field, okay, and it's just me and let's say, you know, a person twice my size who happens to be trained in combat, okay, I'm going to get my ass whooped. Vice versa, if I come across someone who's smaller than me and doesn't know what I know, I'm going to beat their ass, okay? If both of us have guns, we're equal. Okay, in other words, whoever has a gun has all the powers, but when both of you have a gun, you're equal. Now, I've said many times, I am not a gun person. I really don't care to own a gun. I don't like shooting guns. I was in the Marine Corps. I don't like shooting guns. Okay, I don't like hunting. I don't like any of that. But I also understand that there may be a time that I'm going to need to do it. And for that reason, I have guns. I have enough to get me by. You know, I know I'm not going to be the last man standing if everything turns to shit, but at least I have enough to give me a fighting chance. It puts me on an equal playing field. If you don't want guns, there's other opportunities. Baseball bats, blow darts, slingshots, bow and arrows, swords, whatever you want, whatever you're good at. But whatever you use, make sure you're good at using it. Okay, if you own a gun, don't just buy it and put it in a box somewhere and never look at it. One day a year, go buy 100 rounds and shoot it, refamiliarize with yourself with it, clean it, you know, and that's with anything. Bows and arrows, slingshots, go out and practice with it, okay? Some of the people that watch my channel may say, well, I'm not allowed to own a gun. Well, I know that most of the criminals I know have guns, the ones that aren't supposed to have guns. I'm going to put this up before I hit myself. I'm not trained with it. But if you're not allowed to own a gun, then I'm going to say if you happen to come across something that you can use as a gun, and you're not supposed to have it, go somewhere, train with it without getting caught, put it in a box somewhere, bury that shit underground, do something, put it somewhere else, but have access, because if something was to happen to where the police are no longer a viable option, you know, I'd rather have to fight a court case than be dead. So, but having an equalizer, I think is secondary to owning food. Okay, and that a lot of people may say it's more important, but I think that if you're hiding out and trying to stay out of the limelight in an event, food would be number one because it keeps you safer longer. Guns is only if you're found, or equalizers are only if you're found. Now, both of them go against number three, but I think number three is as important. But number three is get out of debt. Okay, if you don't need an expensive phone bill, get a cheap phone bill. Get everything that you can. Pay off your credit cards. Do whatever you got to do. And I know I just said buy a whole bunch of shit, okay? But having the food is more important than, and I'm not saying run up your credit cards and, you know, have it to where you're in debt because of it. I'm saying when you have extra money, use that extra money instead of getting your nails done, get some food. Instead of going out and having a nice clean shave, get some food, okay? Until you get stocked up, okay? Not to be talking about food again, but I'm just, but get out of debt. Is secondary in my personal opinion than, you know, having the supplies, because if an event happens, that don't mean anything. But if something doesn't happen that, you know, is catastrophic, or if something happens to where, you know, it's more than just a storm or something like that, then getting out of debt is one of the most important things, mainly because of inflation. Again, if you think interest rates are going to stay where they're at, man, I'd love to be you. Okay, so, but I think they're going to go higher. Most people think they're going to go higher, unless something drastic changes, which may cause an event. Just get out of debt. Okay, the best way you can. If you have extra stuff in your life not using, sell it to get out of debt. Okay. Now, oh, and if your bills are stacked and you're having trouble getting out of debt, you need to do a budget. Be honest with yourself, and whatever your smallest bill is. Let's say you got a $500 bill, a $300 bill, a $100 bill, and a $50 bill. You pay off the $50. Everything extra goes toward the $50, and then you take that same amount of money, go to the $100, and work your way up. It's a tried and true method. It works. I've done it. So, food keeps you from going crazy. Guns keeps the other people who didn't have food away from you. Debt is, if the world doesn't completely go to shit, then you still have to deal with creditors. One other thing on debt is if you owe somebody, they can come and find you and get you. Under any circumstances, if you owe somebody, they can find you, they can come and get you. They have power over you. Okay? So beyond the normal realm of being in debt, you never know who the next person in office or the next lawmaker may change the rules saying, hey, we got too many people in debt. Let's start using 87,000 new IRS agents to come find you, and let's collect on the debt. So, and I'm not insinuating anything, I'm just saying that there's 87,000 new IRS agents that are twiddling their thumbs trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so going back on it, number one, you got your food. You're happy, you're not hangry. You got a gun, or excuse me, an equalizer of some sort to make you safer, and hopefully you're on the verge of getting out of debt. So what is the most important one? Number 4. If you got the first 3 in progress, on lock, I want you to be happy. Okay, find something that gets you out of the, this crazy rat race that we have going on. If you like to walk on the beach, if you like to stroll in the woods, I'm not saying, go out and spend a whole bunch of money to go on vacation. I'm saying just find something that's very simple, that can get you away from the news, that can get you away from all the stresses of day to day, because even if you have everything else, if you're not happy, you're not living a good life. So find something. If you want to, go get a coloring book from the dollar store, play a game on your phone, whatever can make you happy. Okay, be happy once the important stuff is done. And you can be happy while buying food. You can be happy while using equalizer. So, but regardless, if we're not fighting for the right things, of being happy, to have joy in your life, to enjoy what's out there, what are we doing anyways? If you can't be happy with the simple things in life, then what can you be happy about? So, but this is something that I've been thinking about, and I made me a little pedestal. I have my other ones buried behind the other stuff, and and you see I've been trying to get my door shop put back together. But I really I think these 4 simple things are the best key to kind of getting in the right place. Not for a particular event, but for whatever may come. I know that me having the first 3 pretty much done, and I'm lucky, but I also don't live in excess to a certain extent. I didn't buy a house more than what I needed, and it was not because I thought about it. I would have bought a bigger house if I had the opportunity, but I never had the opportunity. I got rid of all the things that was costing me money, and if you've been watching the channel, I'm getting rid of another storage unit this month that's going to save me more money, and I'm getting out of more debt. So, and I try to be happy, and I try to show you guys some of the things that I'm doing, to help motivate, to help inspire. So, But, you know, and I wish I had some really cool graphics and editing and everything else, but I kind of like just, you know, having this one-on-one with people, and, you know, I'm not here trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm not trying to, you know, if you know me, you know I've been about as real as someone can get, you know, so. But on that note, we'll come around and turn it off, but peace, love, money, and hopefully happiness. I'm out.